Hello and welcome to Algebra. Today we're going to look at some special types of binomials. So we're going to look at some special types of binomials. If the first term in each binomial is the same and the second term in each binomial is the same, there's three sets of rules. If you add those two, there's a rule. If you subtract those two, there's a rule. And if you add one, subtract the other, there's a different rule. Of the three different ones, this is by far the most important. Because when we go back to factor, you can factor these first two using a traditional method, but this last one you'll need to know just based on the special rules. So for reasons that we'll see later, this third one is going to be the most important to know. Now you can use just the FOIL method or the distributive property or stretch, the way that we did that in the last lesson for these. You don't necessarily have to use the special binomial rules, but this last one, the difference of two squares as we call it, the difference of two squares you will need later on when we actually factor them apart instead of multiplying them together. So let's look at some of these. A plus B, A plus B. Well, what do I mean by that? Let's say 2A plus 3 onto 2A plus 3. So what this rule says, take the first one, A, which is 2A in this case, square it. So 2A squared is 4A squared. Take the last one, square it. 3 times 3 is 9. Then multiply A and B together. So 2A times 3 is 6A, and double it, which is 12A. And that's it. That's all you do. What if you have the same example, but you subtract the two? And we'll call it X this time. Take A and square it. Take B, which is negative 3. Negative 3 squared in parentheses is going to be positive 9. Then multiply these two together. 2x times negative 3 is negative 6x, and double it. Negative 12x. And the last one, let's take that same example, and instead of 2x minus 3, 2x minus 3, we'll do 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. So the difference of two squares, as we're going to see in a minute. Multiply the first, multiply the last, and subtract them. And that's going to be it. So those three sets of rules, it's just going to take some practice. You see those, you multiply them through, and you go through. If you practice this, then when you see one of these special types of binomials, then you'll be able to do them very quickly. Otherwise, you won't need these top two. You will need this particular formula for later use.